Erev Shabbat Shalom, continuing Halachot of Chanukah. Today we'll discuss very briefly the Halachot of an Achsenai, of someone who is residing by someone else and he's a guest, not at home. So there are a lot of halachot. We're going to try to condense them and teach the principles right now today. So the most important idea behind an Achsenai, someone who is not in his house and he's somewhere else for Chanukah, is because the Gemara or the mitzvah is ner ish uveto, a person has to light the Chanukah candles in his home. Therefore, he needs to be at home to be chayav in the mitzvah of lighting Chanukah candles. According to that opinion, that you need to have a house, someone who is homeless, in theory, won't have a mitzvah of lighting Chanukah candles. But the idea is ner ish uveto, that you go after your home when it comes to the mitzvah of Chanukah. So what about someone that they're not lighting for him at home? For example, the entire family came from Israel to New York for Chag. In that scenario, the halakha explains, Achsenai she'en madlikin alav bebeto tzarich latet pruta leba'al habayit hamitareach. He must somehow join in with the homeowner or the place where he's residing for Chanukah and partake in the homeowner's Chanukah candles. How do they say? How do you join in? By paying a little bit for the Chanukah candles. So therefore, you're in someone's house for Chanukah. I'm from Israel. I'm in New York for Chanukah. I'm staying by my in-laws. You have to, according to halacha, somehow buy yourself into the stake of their Chanukah candles. And when the Baal Habayit, the homeowner of where you're staying, lights the Chanukah candles, he fulfills your obligation as well. Now, what about in a case where Achsenah shemadlikin alav bebeto, that there's a guest, someone that's not home for Shabbat, for Chanukah, but his family is still home, and his wife is lighting for him at home. How does he proceed? Ben ishto ben aviv ve'imo, whether it's his father or mother or wife or children at home, they're lighting for him. Yotzei de chova be'adlakatam. He fulfills his obligation of Chanukah candles with their lighting at home. Why? Because of the concept ner ish uveto, that every household needs to have a candle lit for Chanukah. And in that scenario where they're lighting for him at home, he does not even need to buy in to someone else's Chanukah candles. And even more so, in this case, he's not allowed to have a negative kavanah, saying, I don't want them to be motzimi, and I want to make my own bracha, because you're the homeowner, and your house is lighting. You follow your house wherever it is, and whenever they light with a bracha, they are having you in mind as well. Now, there are a lot of more halachot here that you can discuss, but I just want to quickly talk about something that's a little practical, let's say, for tonight. Someone who is, let's say, a married couple that is going to be by their parents for Shabbat dinner, or they're going to them for a seudah. What does he do? He's not home for the beginning, he'll be home, and he's sleeping at home later. How does he proceed? So the halakha explains, Ben nasuy mitarech etzel aviv o chatan etzel chamiv, a son by his father, married son by the father, married son by his father-in-law, whatever the case is, b'Shabbat Chanukah, for example, on Shabbat Chanukah, u'motzei Shabbat, and also on Motzei Shabbat, mitchonen lachzor leveto, and the most important part is, he plans to go home to sleep at home, ein lo le'adlik ner Chanukah, ela kesheyachzor leveto davka. He should wait until he comes home and light his Chanukah candles when he arrives home. Even if it gets very late, he comes home late after the 30 minutes, that's what Rav Adi would say, he should light at home. Why? Because he's sleeping at home and his house has an obligation of having the Chanukah candles. Similarly, someone who's invited to a seudah, special Chanukah party, one of the nights of Chanukah, how does he proceed? And he's there from when the time of lighting candles is. And he has intent to go back home, to light at home. He can't just say, oh, I heard them light the Chanukah candles for me at the Chanukah party, I don't have to light at home. He has to light when he gets back home, because the obligation is on his house. So it's a very unique halakha because it doesn't follow like Havdalah, for example. If I hear Havdalah, I'm good, I'm yotzeh. I don't have to say it at dafka at my house. Chanukah candles must be lit specifically at your house or the place where you're sleeping that evening. So in a case when you're coming back home later, you have to make sure to light later that night. Have a wonderful day and Shabbat Shalom.